a shipping container falls straight into the ocean, and inside is a woman who's 9 months pregnant. The big question is, can she survive and give birth in these conditions? So let's rewind a bit and talk about Mila before everything went wrong. Mila was living in Barcelona, Spain, with her husband Tyson. But the country was going through a massive food crisis. Things were so bad that the government started taking children away from their parents and killing them. Pregnant women were treated the same way. No mercy at all. Tyson knew they had to escape, so he takes his pregnant wife and tries to smuggle her out of the country inside a shipping container. They finally meet the guy who's supposed to help them, but of course, he's greedy. He asks for more money. Tyson tells him, "I've given you everything I have. Please, my wife is pregnant. We just need to leave." The man doesn't care and tells him to leave. In the end, Mila gives up her wedding ring, and thankfully, they're allowed inside the container. There are other people with them too, most of them pregnant women. Tyson keeps reassuring Mila, telling her everything is going according to plan. The next morning, the sun wakes them up. Mila is in her 9th month and could give birth at any moment. At some point, we see a little girl playing with her father, and Mila breaks down crying. She asks him, "Do you think our daughter is still alive, or did they kill her?" That's when we learn the government already took their child from them. Suddenly, there's loud banging on the container. Tyson walks toward the door and it opens. A bunch of people start climbing in. Then the container owner fires a gun into the air and shouts that these people need to be split between 2 containers. A lot of people, including Tyson, are taken out, and the door closes on Mila through a small opening. Mila watches him put Tyson into another container. He calls her and tells her he's okay, that they'll all be on the same ship, and most importantly, not to trust anyone. Later, Mila sees how badly people are treated. Pregnant women and children are being executed. That's when she realizes she has to rely only on herself if she wants to survive. About an hour later, gunshots are fired. The government has arrived to inspect the containers. The driver hands over the papers and tries to leave, but the officer insists on checking the cargo himself. Mila whispers to everyone to hide quickly. The container is opened and it looks completely empty, but the officer isn't convinced. He steps inside and carefully checks every corner. The people are hiding behind a thin wall. One cough, one sneeze, and they're dead. The officer gets suspicious and tells a soldier to fire a bullet into the back of the container. The bullet exits from the middle instead of the end, and that's when they realize there's a hidden compartment. The officer tells them to come out slowly and promises they'll be safe. Mila remembers her husband's words and doesn't trust him. She climbs up and hides on top of a high crate. One woman steps out and says, "Don't hurt her, I'll deal with her." But instead, she's killed. Then the soldiers open fire and massacre everyone inside. Mila stays completely silent. The officer comes back and makes sure everyone is dead. And sadly, he finds a little girl still alive. He kills her too. The bodies are removed. The container is washed. Mila is alive by pure luck. She sends a voice message to Tyson, telling him everything she went through. Soon after, the container is moved onto the ship. She tries calling him again, but his phone is off. Exhausted, she falls asleep. That night, a violent storm hits. The container is slammed from side to side. Mila screams for help, but no one hears her. Containers start falling off the ship, and she blacks out. The next morning, she wakes up to seawater flooding in. She looks around and realizes she's in the middle of the ocean, surrounded by floating containers. Water is pouring in from everywhere. She feels completely hopeless, like this is where she's going to die. Then she feels her baby kick, almost like she's saying, "Don't give up." That gives Mila strength. She starts sealing the holes, opens the cargo boxes and finds clothes, empty cans, headphones, alcohol, and a toolbox with a phone inside. But it's locked, and her own phone is broken. So this is a big problem. Then she hears screaming. She looks out and realizes the sound is coming from the container where her husband is. She quickly switches her SIM card into the new phone, but it's still locked. The container starts sinking. Mila breaks down, believing Tyson is dead. Hours pass. She's exhausted, holding a knife, and dark thoughts start creeping in. For a moment, she considers ending it all. Then she throws the knife away and says, "For my daughter and for her father who sacrificed himself, I'm getting out of here no matter what." At sunrise, she gets to work. She seals the leaks, uses a hose to drain the water, marks the water level, and hangs photos of her husband and daughter to stay motivated. She only has one sandwich, a can of tuna, 2 bottles of water, and a lighter. Suddenly, the phone rings. It's Tyson. He tells her the driver betrayed them and dumped them outside the city. Mila tells him she's trapped in the middle of the ocean and the water keeps rising. Tyson begs her to stay alive for their daughter and promises he'll save her. That night, another storm hits. The water rises even faster. And then, Mila goes into labor. She climbs into a box to give birth. At that exact moment, Tyson calls again. The phone slips from her hand into the water, and the container starts flooding even more. Even though she was completely exhausted, Mila forced herself to keep going. She climbed down into the water again and sealed every single hole she could find. And then, right there, surrounded by water, she went into labor. She gave birth in the middle of the container, but the baby came out unconscious, not breathing. Mila panicked. She grabbed her baby, turned her over and started pressing hard on her back again and again. Seconds felt like forever. And then suddenly she heard it, a cry. Her baby started breathing. She ripped up clothes and made tiny clothes for her daughter. Then she ate the tuna because her body was weak and she needed strength to produce milk. That's when a new idea hit her. She decided to drill a hole in the ceiling, but her baby wouldn't stop crying. Mila tried everything to calm her down, rocking her, whispering to her. Nothing worked. Completely overwhelmed, exhausted, and without realizing it, she yelled at her baby. The second it happened, she froze. She felt horrible. That night, she ate the rest of the food she had left, hoping it would help her body produce milk. The baby just stared at her, like she was silently telling her, "It's okay, keep going." The next day, Mila kept drilling. She started to feel a bit of hope until the drill suddenly stopped working. That was it. She lost it. She completely broke down, throwing everything around the container in rage and despair. Then she saw the knife. She picked it up and started stabbing at the ceiling, trying to break through, but she was exhausted. Her strength was gone. At the same time, her baby developed a fever. Mila soaked cloths in water and pressed them gently on her baby's body, trying to bring the temperature down. She was fighting on every front. The water kept rising. She had to escape, and she had a newborn to protect. That night, she heard a loud, terrifying sound. She went to check and froze. A shark was attacking the container. She grabbed her baby, hugged her tightly, and prayed. Thankfully, the shark eventually left. The next morning, she tried again to open the ceiling, but this time, the knife snapped in half. Everything went dark in her head. She tried calling her husband, but the phone screen was shattered. Worse than that, she had no water left. She felt dizzy, like she was about to pass out. She filled a bottle with water and poured it over herself, then started licking the condensation off the ceiling just to survive. That night, the hallucinations began. She saw her daughter, the one the government had taken before, standing in front of her, accusing her. "You're the reason I died. You're the one who took me outside. They saw me and they killed me." She woke up screaming. Then she heard rain. She quickly placed empty cans under the leaks, collecting every drop of water she could. She played with her baby for a bit, trying to keep her spirits up. Later, she untied the belt that was strapped to one of the crates, pushed it through the opening she made, and pulled with everything she had left. Finally, the ceiling opened, and she saw the sun. She climbed out, carrying her baby, and got on top of the container. She changed her baby's clothes and threw the dirty ones into the ocean. That's when she noticed sharks gathering below, feeding on the waste. She grabbed a sharp metal rod and spent the entire day trying to catch a fish. Nothing worked. Then she saw a plane flying overhead. She rushed down, smashed the TV, grabbed a reflective piece of glass, and climbed back up. On the way, she cut her leg badly. Still, she ignored the pain and tried signaling the plane with a reflection. No one saw her. She went back down and stitched her wound using the headphone wires. She was completely drained. Her baby woke up, crying from the sound of her mother's pain. Then Mila looked at the headphone wires, and a crazy idea hit her. She used the wires to make a small fishing net. And it worked. She caught her first fish. She was so hungry she ate it raw. Her baby stared at her in disgust. Mila whispered, "I have to do this so I can feed you." She kept fishing, storing the fish in cans. Days passed. The water kept rising. Then suddenly, Tyson called. With a broken screen, it was hard to answer. He told her he couldn't save her. She had to find a way on her own. Then he told her the truth. The government had caught him. He'd been shot in the stomach. He was dying. Mila told him she had given birth to a baby girl who looked just like him. He was so happy. He stayed on the line, talking to her, until the phone went silent. Day after day, the water rose higher. She built a small floating raft for her baby, just in case. Then she saw a box filled with food, floating inside the container. She climbed down to grab them, leaving her baby on top. But the pressure of the water broke the seals, and her baby was dragged away by the current. Mila tried to climb up, but the belt got tangled around her leg. She was trapped inside the sinking container. She took one deep breath, dug down, cut the belt, and escaped. She searched desperately for her baby. Nothing. Then she saw a massive, terrifying shark swimming below. It moved toward her baby and then sprayed water over her. The baby cried. Mila rushed toward the sound and grabbed her. They spent the entire night in freezing water. The next day, Mila threw fish remains into the sea to attract birds, hoping someone would notice. She was barely breathing, completely exhausted. She told her baby she had done everything she could and passed out. The birds gathered. A fishing boat passed by. A man, his wife, and their son. They noticed the birds and went to check. They found the baby first, floating and tied with a rope. The woman pulled the rope and froze when she saw Mila. She fought to wake her up, and she did. The first thing Mila asked was about her baby. She couldn't understand their language, but she understood one thing. She was in another country. She burst into tears. She and her daughter had been given a second life. So tell me, if you were in her place, would you have had the strength to survive and save your child? Or would you have given up?